I think we're live. Right on, we're live. Brian Toone from Alabama is actually 2015 and 2017 racing across America finisher. Mm-hmm. He loves bike, is very passionate. He has his wife who is very supportive, Christine. And then also, how many kids, Brian?
Two kids. Annalise and Josiah, both in high school.
All right. Do they ride? Oh, yeah, you do. They do ride.
They do. They both race on the mountain bike team.
Awesome. So it reminded me. So I saw Brian's post in Facebook wherein he was actually doing a spontaneous ride. And I'm like, Brian, I need to talk to you because Brian is just so passionate in cycling, and that's how I am too in sports. So this is Brian's Facebook, and so let me see what he said. Somewhat spontaneous 435-mile adventure in Southwest Georgia in the Florida Panhandle. So he has great pictures here, how he slept, just different things, which is amazing because all his adventure, he documents it in his website, in his blog. How long have you been maintaining this, Brian? Because there's a lot of history here.
Well, yeah. So I started back racing in 2005.
Okay.
And I didn't start the blog until the middle of 2007.
Wow.
And partly because I just felt like there was I wasn't able to communicate all the things that were happening in racing at the time. It was great. It was just great to have that there, to remember these races.
Yeah. Well, honestly, like with all the things that you're doing, I couldn't imagine how you can actually document a lot of them. And I always wonder, like, how could you document all of them? One of the things that I was curious, the first thing I asked Brian, so did you sleep, Brian? Because how long did it take you over the week? This was just this past weekend. How long?
Yes, just a few days ago.
430 something miles?
435 miles, yes.
And that was spontaneous. And how long did it take you?
It ended up taking 32 hours. So
32 hours.
Which I was anticipating 30 hours. So a couple hours, a little bit, there's a lot of dirt roads. Sure. But it was good. It was good. It was hard, but good.
And then I asked him, did you sleep? And he said, yeah, he slept.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I had to. I mean, I could have done that ride no sleep if I had started on a lot of sleep. But the timing of everything, I needed to start middle of the night. And to get there, it was a 3-hour drive. Sure. So basically, I only slept for 2 hours Friday night from like 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. And then I was doing a 30-hour ride with no sleep. But I got about 24, it was about 24 hours in, maybe a little bit more, 25 hours in. Only 5 hours left to go. But I was exhausted. I mean, sleepy, like super sleepy. So I ended up in a town with, all the gas stations closed. It was like 4 a.m, Sunday morning, 4 a.m. It's real rural town. No gas stations open, but the post office was open. So I just laid down on the floor of the post office, fell asleep instantly. It was glorious because I had no memory of passenger time, and I woke up 45 minutes later ready to go.
Wow.
So it was great.
Wow. So I wanted to get into that one, but let me share to everyone how Brian and I actually met. So Brian and I was actually had an opportunity to meet Brian during the 18-day cycling with Shauna Hogan with the Tour de Bicycling. So he's coming from Alabama. And then I know there was some conversation that he's gonna meet us up. And then I was like, how is he gonna get here? And then I heard, well, he said that he's gonna ride tonight around, I think, midnight, 1 a.m. And then so he's coming from Alabama to Mississippi bike, and I think that's about 150 miles, right?
Yeah, I didn't know. Yeah, it was about
Around
that.
there. Yeah, I checked the map. I'm like, okay, and then he's gonna ride with us from Mississippi to Georgia.
Yep. Yep.
Without sleep, which he did. Which he did. And that was when I met Brian. I was so like, I gotta meet this guy. Something is going on with his head. Let me check if he's sane. But he is, as you can see. So during that time, it was so cool because, you know, I was just so inspired by him, and I was just gonna go back to what I posted today. And I don't know if he knows that I was so amused with his bike. This was his bike here, trying to check us out. So this was the bike that he was using from riding that overnight. And then so I checked out more things. Okay, what else does he has? And so I did put this one here. So this is his bike here, and all his gadgets, just so much in there. And I said, let me talk to him more. He seems really smart. He knows what he's doing. So what I wanted to know, because, you know, I'm kind of interested in doing kind of like what you're doing, but not as heavy, hardcore. You look like you're having fun, but I wanted to try some self-supported. I've done one self-supported ride, which is only up to 200 miles. And it was here in Los Angeles where it got to like really cold. We were just depending on the gasoline station, foods, and then water refill. It was very windy because actually there was going to have a storm after the day after. So, and it was December, actually, end of December. So I got to feel the being free and then just riding.
Yeah.
And as a kid, when I was growing up, I would just make myself get lost and just see how it goes. And I think, is that how did you start with this? Was it more of racing across America first? How was your was it okay, I want to race across America, or was it more of I'm gonna do just cycle around and have fun? How did it start?
No, I mean, when I started riding as a kid, it was definitely that, like you said, that freedom to actually go somewhere, you know, actually make it somewhere. I mean, as a kid, as a real young kid, it wasn't very far. It's just the end of the neighborhood. Yeah. But still, it was farther than, you know, it's farther than
at home.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you're out of the yard, you're out of your normal comfort zone, the few houses next to you where you play with other kids and stuff. You're down, you know, you're all the way out of the neighborhood. It was fun, super fun back then. And I didn't really get into racing until college. And I did race for a number of years, but there was always the adventure aspect. I'll give you a short story.
Sure.
When as a freshman I did my undergrad in South Carolina, Clemson University in South Carolina. That's where I did my undergrad work. And so as a freshman, just turned 18 years old, being away from home for the first time.
Sure.
You know, my parents dropped me off, said, okay.
Freedom!
But I'm like, okay, now what? And so I just got on my bike and I rode straight out to the mountains. And I saw, you know, one glimpse of those mountains, and I was like, oh, this is good. This is home. This is what I want. And I mean, it's just a blank slate of places to explore. Never been there before. Well, I mean, I visited the school once,
right.
You know, but everything was brand new. And so it was just so awesome to explore and find things and I love the racing. I mean, there's a whole other side of that too, where I like the competitive, you know, the challenge, the strategy, you know, pushing yourself the hard, you know, as hard as you can, but at the same time, there's still that underlying, I just want to have fun on the bike. I want to go places, see things, and have fun, you know. And those two things can live really well together. Actually, I mean, I made it all the way up into the top 10 in the country on the USA Crit Series in 2009.
Wow.
I got to travel and did a lot of races. They were mostly in the South. So I did all those races around the South, and the way I would warm up for those races is I would just ride
from home too.
Oh no. I didn't start that till a little bit later. A little bit later. Then it was drive to the races for sure.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And then just cruise around though. Just ride around town, find stuff around town, take it easy and then, work your way to the start line. And then it was, game on at the start line. But then eventually as I got farther along in my career, really, as it got closer, 2013, 2014, I actually got hit by a car in 2014.
Right.
And it really made me rethink some things because I'm like, I'm not going to get any better. Older, I'm not going to get any better with my what I called regular racing. Sure. And I had in the back of my mind, I had wanted to do some more of the longer distance racing. And so I started to do exactly what you just said. I started to ride once I could ride again. I started to ride to the races, do the races, ride home, just that distance and adventure in there.
Yeah. And is that how the Racing Across America idea came about around that year, 2014?
Yeah, exactly. And so then I wanted to do it that year, but we were like, you need to do a little bit
more time.
Yeah. So I ended up doing
not that. Too spontaneous.
yeah. Well, it almost was. I mean, there's a lot of logistics that go into it that you just really couldn't. Sure. It's not the same as like a self-supported where you almost can. You plan out the route and then you just go do it.
Exactly.
But in Race Across America, which is supported, you have to make all these arrangements. It's a lot of work.
It's a different animal too, because you have to think about your crews also.
Yes.
And the competitive aspect of it.
Yes.
So
absolutely.
Yeah. So it's a different, because when we did the Cycling Across America, which is more of a cruise type, which is recorded by bicycling, I got to see the views. Mm-hmm. It's not always dark because we were actually on daytime, which is amazing because I got to see them. It was hard, but still it was fun. And plus I was with you also, and you were riding that bike that I showed earlier. So let me just go back there. This bike here, what do you call this bike?
That is a salsa cutthroat.
Salsa cutthroat.
And actually, if you can see, I don't know if you can zoom in, but do you see that's not just dirt on the down tube there? That is actually a map on the down tube. That's a map of right underneath where my helmet is, the green down tube. No, go back to the left a little bit.
This one?
No, on the frame itself.
Oh, okay, right here.
No, farther up. Yeah, right there. See that?
Right here.
All the way down. You see the black right there? Yes, there's actually a map there.
Oh, a map of what?
The Tour Divide, which is the race that starts up in Canada.
Gotcha. That's amazing. Gotcha.
It goes all the way down to Mexico.
I see. So was it in paper material?
No, it's just painted onto the frame. It's painted on the frame. And the reason why is because this bike was specifically made for that race. This is like the ultimate bike for that race. And that there's a lot of pavement on the race, but there's also a lot of gravel. There's a lot of dirt roads, tons of dirt roads, and a little bit of single track. But it's kind of the all-round bike that can handle a little bit of everything. So that's the bike I was on.
So just for people who doesn't know about Tour Divide, short, what is a Tour Divide?
So it's a self-supported mountain bike race.
There you go.
And it starts in Banff, Canada, and goes all the way down to the Mexico border, Antelope Wells, New Mexico, right at the Mexico border. 2,700 miles. And you're going, instead of going, west to east across the country, you're going north to south.
North to south. Okay, gotcha.
Right through the Rocky Mountains, and it's called the Tour Divide because it's following the Rocky Mountain Continental Divide.
Yeah,
and it's tracing that. Sometimes you're on one side, sometimes you're on the other side. So there's a lot of climbing for sure.
Let me see. And then are they on this year? Are you training for it
no,
this year?
no.
I
was planning on doing it this year, but it's already pretty much been decided that they're just going to start at the U.S. border.
Oh, okay.
And I don't want to do it. I mean, if I'm going to do all the, all that goes into it, I want to do the whole thing.
So you're just going to continue having fun training.
Yes, and then I'll try next year. I'm pretty sure life. Let's just hope life will be back to normal by next summer. And be able to do the whole thing.
Cool. So. I actually I did post some of your gadgets here. I did post it in another area. Hold on one second. So other things that I thought was pretty cool actually is right here. I have several pictures of yours. Oh, right here. Yeah. So what is this one?
So that is a Garmin Inreach Explorer is the model on that one. And it is a satellite tracker. So anywhere in the world, you can send a text message, and it also is broadcasting your location. So it doesn't depend on, so it doesn't matter if there's no cell phone signal or anything. It will continue to broadcast, and you can send out SOS emergency on that. You know, if you get really stuck somewhere with no cell phone reception.
Can you call? Can you call 911 on this one?
No, you can only text
message.
You can only text, or you can just press the SOS button, and it will automatically call 911 for you. I mean, you can't communicate with them.
Sure.
But at least it would send them your exact coordinates, and then they could send a rescue team there. I mean, you only use that in a real emergency though, because they charge you thousands of dollars.
Oh, gotcha. So when you really need to, then.
Yes. So it's great though as like a safety, device, as well as the tracking. That people can follow. Follow your exactly where you are.
Like your tracker. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Your tracker online. So I guess what you need here is more recharge. You need to be able to recharge it then. You need to have battery with you, right? That's the main thing.
Yes and no. The battery life on this thing is almost 48 hours. But you're right. I mean, if you're going on a multi-week adventure, you definitely are going to need to charge it. But on something that's less than 2 days, it'll last all by itself.
Okay. It looks pretty rugged. I'm assuming it's waterproof.
Oh yes.
Oh, okay, cool, awesome. And then I saw your shoes. Yeah. This was your shoes.
Yes.
So this one is open. And what is the main reason? I know you said something about swelling. Was that swelling of the feet?
Yes. Yes.
Why this?
Yes. So I got hit by a car in 2014.
Right.
And then I got hit by a different car in 2017. That one was actually much worse, the 2017 one. And I ended up having to have 3 different surgeries on my foot.
Wow. Okay.
And because of that, I basically have very limited mobility in my foot now. And it tends to swell a lot.
Gotcha. Wow.
But that wasn't the only reason. So why I had those on particularly for that ride that we were doing is because, I was doing that race on the way back home. And that is known to be a very wet race. You cross so many creeks and rivers.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And so if you have shoes on, your feet are just going to be soaked
and it's not forever. Good. Yeah.
But those sandals will dry out, fairly quickly. Because it's open air, So that was a big reason too. Is I knew that I didn't want the picture of people is like, I believe they call it trench foot, where where your skin has like essentially buckled like a prune, or like
I heard of it. No, that's true. Yes. And it's not good.
I myself, the first time I did the race, it was so painful. About 300 miles into the race, I mean, it was just unreal, and it was kind of crazy too how you didn't even notice it until you noticed it, and then it was very painful.
Wow.
I didn't have that this year, so that solution did work, to some extent. I mean, I had it a little bit, but nowhere near as bad as before.
So we have actually live here. Fanny, how's it going, Fanny and Isabel? So Isabel was saying, I was wondering about the open shoes because I did post it. And yeah, I thought it was very interesting because Shauna Hogan, who's also a world record holder and also Racing Across America finisher, who we've biked, friend also of Brian, I asked her, like, what's the size of your shoes? And she said to me that she buys the shoes that's 2 sizes up because her feet will swell up. So yeah, definitely. It's not like, you know, with the shoes, with the running shoes, it's not as big as that, but it depends on how your feet are. It definitely varies. I was wondering though, when you have that open toes, isn't it like a danger wherein, like, let's say when you're riding your bike, there's like stones,
rocks or something. Yeah, you know,
risk also, right?
Yeah, I mean there is a little bit of a risk of that. I think I only hit one rock that got, and it wasn't
That's
a hit.
Nothing.
No, I mean it was like the rock kicked up and hit me, and that was on some pretty rugged terrain.
Yeah.
So the odds are pretty low, but yeah, it's definitely a risk, especially if you were in like a group race or something where there's other riders around you who are kicking up rocks. It'd be actually a bigger issue in that. But since I was on my own, you know, for the rock, you know, the race
that you did
on the way home, it really wasn't. It did hurt though. That one rock, I do remember it. I remember it kicking up. I was like, ouch.
Oh, I thought you can't feel anything anymore after all of this. I thought you'd be used to it. You're like, oh, that's nothing. So, you know, like, I know you would. So when you're riding this long rides, I mean, you get sleepy, right? I mean, you're normal, right? Okay. Yes. So do you like, hey, maybe I'll just get there another 20 or 30 miles? Or you kind of like, let me sleep now, or take a nap, or power nap?
Oh, that's a good question. I have in the past, I have typically been, I am getting there.
Yes.
I've got, you know, it's like, and I usually make there a real challenge too. You know what I mean? Like a real hard thing to get to. So it's usually a push. But like this past weekend, I mean, I kind of had the same thing, that I wanted to do the whole ride, no sleep, but also I was open to I was like, if I get really sleepy, I'll just go lay down somewhere and go to sleep.
Anyway,
you know, so it's a little bit of mix of both. When I did Race Across America, we had hotels booked, and you know, I picked them like good 300 plus mile chunks apart, you know, to really push myself to get that whole distance done. And I don't know if that was the best strategy. It worked well. It certainly worked
for
really
you.
well for us, but at the same time, I was miserable sometimes, you know.
So you're like just trying to get there.
Just trying to get there, just because of how sleepy I was. And so you wonder, could I have gone a little bit faster if I'd slept a little sooner? But you know,
I think it's a decision that's case by case.
Yeah, exactly. And if you do it the other way, that has problems too. So it's like, you know.
And I think it's kind of hard also to, you know, considering this long rides, sometimes it's just so hard to think.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Funny story about that. Oh, really funny story about that.
Yeah.
Math.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Extremely hard.
Important.
Yeah, you try and do any kind of math problem.
Especially you.
Yeah. It's like, oh my gosh, that should not be that hard to add those two numbers together. But if you get to a point where you're tired enough, you know, you're like, I can't do it.
Oh wow, you're talking about it, considering you. All right. So let me see. Okay, so the next one is that, how about safety?
Oh yeah.
You know, like, do you bring, I mean, your self-support, and a lot of times these are solo. I mean, do you bring something like the pepper spray or something?
Oh, that kind of safety.
Yeah.
I don't give it a second thought.
Okay, tell me.
You know, and that's, I mean, maybe that's a little reckless, but at the same time, it's like, I'm so tired. Nobody's
gonna care.
You know?
Or like, you're so dirty.
They're gonna have pity on me. They're not like, oh my gosh, I'm not riding that guy. He's
Are you lost?
Yeah, exactly. They're it's no, I don't worry about that.
Okay.
But I mean, you still have to make. A lot of times I'm moving,
Okay.
but
Gotcha.
that's what's been really, really cool is
That's
like you just go up anywhere, go to a gas station. I don't give it a second thought. There's a bunch of people outside right there. I set my bike right there.
Okay.
I don't even give it a second thought anymore, but I used to. I remember it's like, oh, somebody could steal my bike while I'm in there. But I think
too heavy for them to do.
Yeah, well, there's that, and then also I think there's some respect. I think people can see that you are really
interesting.
That they just shouldn't do it. I think I really think that's. I think so, and maybe that's overconfidence, and maybe there are times that I've been in more danger than I realized. But I don't think so.
So is your go-to to sleep, like let's say you're riding one of them, because I read of some of them, like yes, post office. Is it because it's open? I think you said it's open, that's why
post offices are great resources. I mean, obviously you can't go in and sleep there middle of the day or something, but if it's middle of the night, they usually leave those post offices open. For people to get at PO boxes, to be able to get at their PO boxes.
Maybe churches.
Churches too. That works
Fire
great.
Department. I don't know.
The nice thing about a church is a lot of times they'll have like a welcome mat or something that's a little bit softer.
Right welcome mat.
Like some
there were
front door. Yes. A lot of times that'll be kind of soft, and you can just sleep right there. And it doesn't take much, because you wouldn't want. I'm just talking from my experience. I wouldn't want to sleep there for like 6 hours or something.
Oh, I don't think so.
But for
gotta get going.
15, 20 minutes. Nobody cares, that you're there, and it's all I really need. It's just a little bit. And I really do try and structure my routes, especially self-supported things, so that I can make it to a hotel, or a shelter, or some place that I know about. But sometimes it just doesn't work out,
Yeah. Have you wondered or kind of like thought, oh, maybe I'll just knock on someone's door and ask? Maybe I can camp at the front
times, but no,
or garden.
The only thing I've had to do, especially summer riding in the South. If it's rural enough, sometimes you don't get the gas stations right, and you run out of water.
Yes,
that's bad. So
what would you do?
I have definitely begged water. Oh yeah. I've begged water off of people plenty of times, and they'll always give it to you.
That's nice.
That's
tough.
Usually what I'll do is I'll just keep riding, and I'll just be looking for somebody in their yard, and then I'll just kind of holler out from the street, "Hey, can I get some water?" And I've never had anyone say no. They always come. Basically, they always come running with water. Basically,
that's amazing.
So it is amazing, the human spirit. How people really will. If they see somebody really challenging themselves and trying really hard, they're going to help you out.
That's good. That's good to know.
At least that's been my experience,
Yeah. Well, you've been riding for a while now. Have you biked or done the self-supported here in the West Coast or in California?
No, when I was in California, I was doing my grad school in California. I was super busy. That's my one regret. I did not get to ride in California as much as I would have
Maybe
liked.
I explored too, right?
I explored Davis pretty well, that whole area and the Central Valley, but nothing really that from now what I would consider big, just the central part of the valley there from Napa.
Sure, it's nice there.
The foothills of the Sierras. If I were out there now, there's so much more I would explore. But yeah, so I didn't get to ride out there as much as I would have liked to.
Well, maybe next time. It's on your list.
Yeah.
So how about how about shower?
Mm-hmm.
Do you bring stuff with you? how do you get shower? If like, let's say it's back to back, or do you wait until you see California where there's ocean or lakes?
Oh yeah. Well,
yeah.
I will. So like if I'm on a multi-day thing and I know I can route in a hotel, I'll try and route in a hotel.
There you go.
Shower there. And a lot of times I'll actually call like, hey,
that's nice.
Do y'all have laundry? Do y'all have clean laundry or something?
Okay.
So I can wash the clothes. But I have done that. When I rode down to Florida last year, 2 years ago, I think it was actually 2 years ago. I was coming back from Georgia and I was coming back and I went way down into Florida and then came back up. It is really hot. And I stopped at a gas station and was like, I don't even remember what I said. I was pretty out of it, but I'm like, I don't even know what I said, but they directed me to a lake and said, go jump in that lake. And I'm like, I'm going in that lake. I was like, I left that gas station and I had water, Gatorade, ice. I had everything I needed. And then rode straight out the back of that gas station to a boat ramp. And I waited. I mean, I literally set my bike on the side and I didn't run, but I walked out into that water. I didn't care if there was alligators everywhere. There could have been alligators right there. I would have been like, come here, I'm going in anyway. And so I needed to cool off. I was in bad shape. I needed to cool off.
Yeah, I'm sure it woke you up too.
Did the trick, though. Yeah, sorry, what's that?
I said I'm sure it woke you up too.
Oh yeah. Well, I wasn't even sleepy. I was heat exhausted. It was really hot.
All right.
It was hot. And so I needed to cool off somehow, and it was perfect. Just jump in.
Yeah. And then with your clothes, you just dry it up using the sun, of course.
Oh, that's even better because now you got these you got these wet clothes that
washed off
the next 15 miles. Keep you cool for a little while, but then of course it dries out. But
wow. I do have a list of questions here. You're still good at answering questions. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Let me see who else right here. We also have it's like Gabby, you guys work out the body, mind, and spirit. Yes, definitely. And also, Brian is just doing it for fun. I mean, who does 400 something miles? Oh, did you just plan the one that you did last weekend? Only last week? Hey, wife and kids, dad is going out.
No, it's actually a series of things that happened. My kids are both racing mountain bikes, and I had been planning on riding to their races, taking really long routes to get there, and just back to back weeks, it didn't work out. So I was itching to do something long. And I had planned out a route. I was going to go ride 5 states. I was actually going to ride through 5 states, starting in Memphis and go up into Illinois and back around. You end up crossing over the Mississippi River a few times, and you end up in 5 different states. And I was really excited about that. They had a weather system coming in. I was like, I'm not doing that. And it was going to be like 45, 50 degrees and pouring down rain. I'm like, no, I can just go the other way and be in warm, sunny Florida.
That's what you did. Okay.
I think I'm going to go do that instead. So that decision didn't happen till I did the ride on Friday and on Wednesday. And Wednesday, like, I'm going to go ride in Florida. And so I put together that route, Wednesday, Thursday, and then left on Friday.
And you do use ride with GPS to put together that plan? How do you plan it?
Well, I actually have my own website, topofcreator.com.
Topofcreator.com. Okay.
And it's kind of like I built that in 2000 before Strava existed.
Wow.
Before Ride with GPS existed. The only thing that existed at the time was Map My Ride. So Map My Ride, which I don't even think people really use that much anymore. I mean, maybe they do. I haven't listened to them in forever.
Let's check it out, Brian. What is it again? Topography.com?
No, it's Topo Creator.
Topo Creator.
No, with an O. TOPO.
TOPO Creator.com.
So,
okay.
Right, and so what these are maps that you can make. I'm just fascinated with maps. It's all tied into this adventuring and going places and everything. So the maps, but actually if you go back, I actually don't think I have the URL up there yet, so you'll have to type it in.
Oh,
Go up there and do a slash after that.
Okay, like that.
Beta, BETA.
Ooh, you get to see all this stuff.
Yeah. So you can see some of the routes that I've planned and stuff. And I had grand plans to, really build this up into
amazing.
Full featured website for mapping and
So is this what you use yourself then?
Yeah, I use it myself. I love it. I mean, it does exactly what I need. But I just don't really have the time to put it up. Like,
you've been writing.
Yeah, exactly. To bring it that last step. Maybe I will someday. I always say that in the summer when I'm between teaching. I'm like, okay, this is gonna be the summer.
Wow.
I'm gonna get it.
So this app is yours, Brian?
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yep.
So it actually acts like Map My Run or Map My Ride? Yes.
So if you go to click on the left there, click Create Route. Route. Yeah, right there. If you wanted to, you could create an account real quick. You could just make something up.
It's gonna take a while, I think. But I didn't know that, Brian, that you actually have that.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So Brian is actually known to be a geek in maps. Like he would remember or memorize streets. So I was asking him, like, how did you study the map? Oh no, I just love it.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Let me see. How about when you're riding, did you ever encounter any wild animals, Brian?
Oh, actually the race I did this December down in Florida, ran into a wild boar. And I had never seen one before. It was interesting.
Where is it at?
It was a swamp. I was in a swamp. And there was some single track through it.
Okay.
And I'm riding, and all of a sudden this big thing is just like sort of bounding like right in front of me.
Right in front of you.
And I'm like, oh, I should stop because he's going the same way. I'm like, I don't want him to all of a sudden turn around and charge me. And so I did, and then he just sort of wandered off there to the right, and then I went around.
So far, like when you're sleeping, no, nothing has come to you yet. I guess I'm scared of when I'm sleeping, who's gonna come to me?
Oh,
like there's wild animals or some bites or insects, you know.
No.
Not yet? Okay.
No, not yet.
All right.
Now with Tour Divide, you do have to watch out for bears. Whole thing. And there's a whole strategy for keeping your food, basically luring them away from where you're at.
Gotcha. Okay, gotcha.
You sleep over here, you put your food
somewhere else.
You hang it through, a bear bag, you hang it up over a tree.
Gotcha.
Hope that there's no food left in your bike, because they could tear into it. But I don't think it happens that often. It does happen. But it's not like super often. I have run into one of the rides I did, training this past summer, actually before I met y'all, earlier in that summer, about a month before I met y'all, I was riding up in the Smoky Mountains and ran into 3 different bears. And that was two of them were just one was off to the side, kind of down from me. It was just kind of cool to see him down there.
Just watching.
And the other one was, I came around this corner flying, and he was right there, and he's
flying.
He stood up, scared me because I'm like, oh, this is bad. But he like stood up, hind legs, and then immediately got back down and just tore off into the woods.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Good.
So awesome. I must have scared him pretty good too. So he scared me.
Scared each other.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just glad it turned out that way instead of him charging me or something. And then there was another one later that I only heard, but you knew it was a bear because it was very large. Wow. You could hear those things crashing through the woods.
Gotcha. I've only seen one here in California where I was climbing up in the mountains. So it's about maybe 100 yards. I'm like, a bear's crossing.
Yeah.
I was going up. I'm like, shoot, I'm gonna go back down. Since then, I'm like, okay, what am I gonna do if I ever encounter another one again? So, and then when I was in Switzerland, when I was ended up during the race, I ended up camping overnight at that race site because I was just saving some sleep. So okay, so those are the things. And they're not very harmful, anyways, right?
What's that?
Did you feel like there are any animals or wild animals that you think that we should watch out for? Like we should watch out for besides alligator in Orlando?
Not really. I mean, the boars, really. I mean, if you get rural enough, if it's rural enough, but if you're going to be on roads though, right?
Yeah.
You're not going to worry about anything. It's really when you get even the back roads. You're not going to worry. It's when you get on trails.
No.
It's like when you're way when you're way off in the woods. That's
no. Well, not like yours. That's yours is hardcore. I'm staying on the back roads. So we don't road bike. So that's where I'm at.
That's exciting.
Well, we never know. I think,
exactly.
I think unless I do it, then I won't never know, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like the when I saw the Cruise Across America with Shauna. Like I was honestly, it was like six weeks before the date. I was like, okay, I've never done a crossing across America. Like, what am I going to encounter? Like, I was kind of nervous and excited at the same time. But it was not bad. It was actually fun, especially meeting you.
Yeah, that's great. Amazing. That's great. And Shauna and Steven, those are amazing. Those guys are amazing too.
Well, I have another question. Actually, Simon. Hello, Simon. Simon's actually in Texas. These people are in different places.
Yeah.
States. So in terms of my phone, do I need to call the my server, like my phone server, or so I'm in T-Mobile. Do I need to call my phone that I'm traveling in terms of that, or is there anything that I need to prepare? Because I know I gotta get the GPS. Yes.
Yeah, the GPS. As far as the phone goes, the biggest thing is going to be battery. So like just keeping the thing alive. Now I do have on my bike, I have a dynamo. Where it's the wheel, so it's built into the hub. As the hub spins, it's actually generating electricity.
I need to get that from you. Dynamo. So when you ride, it generates.
It generates electricity, so it'll power a light, and it'll power. It'll only power the light. But if it's during the daytime, you can turn the light off and you can actually charge. So it's just got a USB port, so you can just plug it in. It's got a USB charger, and it'll charge up.
Is Dynamo the brand name?
No, that's the generic. Mine is a sine wave.
Sine wave. Okay.
SINEWAVE.
Okay, W.
And that's actually, they're the ones who actually make the light, and the. But they have some recommendations about the people who make the hubs. There's a German company that makes, that's what I have, the Schmidt hub. And there's also, I believe, there's a couple, I don't think there's any US ones. I believe there's a couple maybe from somewhere in Asia, I believe. Sure. I don't think it's China. I think it's Taiwan. Maybe they're Taiwan. Well, I guess. So,
I'll check it out. Dynamo.
Yeah.
How about rain stuff? I know we got rained in when we were cycling in Georgia.
Yeah.
You have everything, like when it rained, you covered your gadget with plastic bags. So you always have plastic bags with you.
Yeah, Ziploc bags. Yeah,
Ziploc bags.
Just regular little Ziploc sandwich bags are perfect for covering up your Garmin, covering up your phone.
Okay.
It's perfect. You don't need anything fancy.
Just a little Ziploc bag. Yeah. How about first aid? Do you bring any first aid with you, or just
not really? A lot of times I will take. This past trip, just give you an example. I took with me. I took I think I had 2 Benadryl in there.
Oh, okay.
Like pills, the 2 Benadryl, in case I got stung by something or some sort of allergic reaction, I could take that.
Yeah.
But of course, I think they've been in there a couple years now, so who knows if they're still any good. But I keep a little Ziploc bag that has that in there, and I usually have a couple of leave, and I did end up taking one of those leave. I've had some leg issues just lingering, so I ended up needing to take an leave. You know,
wow.
Usually
Band-Aid maybe.
Yeah, I had Band-Aids before, but not on a ride like this. Only like something that would be multiple days. Yeah, I mean,
Cycling. Gotcha.
And then cortisone. So like that's not the right word.
For something
that you put on cuts, the cortisone cream. I think maybe it is cortisone. The antibiotic cream that you would put on like an open wound or something in case to keep it from getting infected. I usually take a little tube of that, so if I get a bad cut, I can just put that on right away.
Okay. How about clothing? Like, did you bring extra short?
Yeah. My rule of thumb is 2 bibs. So,
2 bibs.
Like 2 bib shorts, 1 jersey.
2 bib short plus what you were wearing already.
No.
Oh, just 2 bibs. So 1 extra bib.
1 extra bib.
You bring detergent or something to wash clothes just in case, or because
no.
Okay.
No, I mean, depending on the planning, if you can route yourself near hotels, you can do a lot at a hotel with the laundry. The free way to do it is those little shampoos they give you. That works great as laundry detergent. Yeah. So you can just pour a little bit of that into the laundry machine. I do, because you got to wash your clothes. You got to be wearing something.
Sure.
I do normally take like a really short pair of shorts, just something really small.
Sure.
And usually a real lightweight vest. Not like a keep you warm vest, more like
a wind.
Like a wind vest.
Okay.
And then you can wash all your clothes and you can be wearing the shorts and the wind vest, and that stuff doesn't take up much room, but it also doubles. If you do happen to run into cold weather, it's an extra layer you can put on there. It is an extra layer that you have for a ride that's going to span a large distance where you're going to have a lot of different climates. You're probably going to want to either plan out a place to buy clothes.
Gotcha.
Dollar General is a great place. So, they have a variety. Dollar General. Do they have those in California?
There's 99 cents. There you go.
Yeah,
there's 99 cents. Walmart. Yeah.
But what you'll find is you get into, like, especially across the South, a lot of towns, they'll have a gas station and they'll have a Dollar General, and that's
sometimes there's laundry too.
Sometimes
some gasoline station like in the highway.
But what you can do though is you can plan out, like, okay, by the time I get to West Texas, I'm going to need to start thinking about some warm clothes, maybe, I don't know. It depends on the weather.
Right.
But that way you don't have to lug those clothes with you the whole
time.
Especially when it's not going to be cold in Florida and Alabama.
How about, like, let's say tubing for your tires if you get flat? Like, how many of those do you usually bring?
Well, definitely, I definitely run tubeless tires for sure.
Okay.
And then you're less likely to get a flat. And then I'll always take 2 tubes and a patch kit. And so, the ideal scenario, of course, is not to get a flat. And running the tubeless tires that have the sealant in them, that really helps with that to begin with. But if you do get a flat, you know that you've got 2 tubes to work with, and then a patch kit on top of that. My general rule of thumb though is if I'm running tubeless tires and I end up getting a flat, I'm going to be looking for a Walmart or something or a bike shop even,
I think bike shop would be best.
And you're going to be near a bike shop hours, you know,
Yeah.
and get the you'd be able to get a new tube, maybe even a new tire. I've done that before. Just bought a new tire.
Yeah.
If
You bring lube too? Like, let's say you have a multi-date.
yes, you definitely want to bring some chain lube, just a little bitty thing of it. You will be, if you do not have chain lube, you will be driven crazy by the time that thing gets sleepy or gets, you know, you get a little bit of rain on there, and then when it dries out, it makes this horrible noise, and that's all you can think about. That's all you can think about. So you're gonna want a little bit of chain lube for sure.
Wow. You also have this Garmin at the rear of your tire, which actually
the radar. Yes.
Yeah, the radar. Do you mind telling us more about this?
Sure. No, I actually gave a research talk on that today.
Oh, did you?
At the university that
Let me see if
we were doing a
I don't have that one. I'm just looking at this one.
We were doing like a faculty talk. Let's see if you can get a picture of it there in the back. It's
let's just get a tour of your bike. So this is your bottle. This is your phone. You have your phone. Oh yeah. Oh my God. So sometimes he would have a call, and you would have like on a speaker talking to that person. So that was that, and it's connected to your battery for your phone.
That was battery pack. Yeah. And I didn't have the dynamo yet on this.
Yeah.
I didn't have the dynamo yet.
And then is this connected to your map or your route?
No. Because I have the Garmin. If you go back,
so you get it from your Garmin.
Yeah, I use that for the main navigation for sure.
I'm curious, what's in it in this one, if you don't mind?
So that's a lot of times you want to put your heaviest stuff in there.
Okay.
Get it off your back, or you know, so a lot of times that's good. Definitely the spare tubes, the bike tools. There's going to be a couple bike tools in there. The lube, anything that weighs a little bit more, heavier clothes you put in there. And then the lighter stuff I usually wear on my back with a small backpack.
Gotcha. And what is this? Is this the map that you were saying earlier?
No, that's actually a pump. That's the frame pump.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
And then this is your Garmin.
That's the Garmin. Yep.
Wherein it has the GPS. Yep. You got phone, and then you can put the lights there.
Yep.
All right. Let me see what else. I thought it was.
Yeah, there's something in the back. I'm trying to see if you got a picture.
I'm pretty sure I did.
Yeah.
So what's the difference? This one is kind of like a GoPro?
Yeah, that's the Garmin Verb. Okay. And I have it set to do time lapse. So what it is, it's taking a picture every second.
Yeah.
But this particular model, if you did that and you ride for 1 hour is 3,600 seconds.
Okay.
So that would be 3,600 pictures.
Yes.
Nobody wants to do anything with 3,600 pictures.
So what do you do with it?
Okay. So Garmin does something really cool.
Yeah.
So, or this particular model, they have what they call the time-lapse video mode.
Time-lapse video. Okay.
And so even though it's taking a picture every second, it's collating all those pictures into a regular video. So which plays back at 30 frames per second.
Okay.
So it's actually kind of fun to watch, because if you're going say 15 miles an hour, the video is playing at 450 miles an hour, and it is super
wow.
It is cool. This is what it would look like if you were on this road at 450 miles an hour, and it is
it's fast. Cool. Yeah.
Now that's especially if you have the camera pointing forward, you would get
it's much fun actually.
But I do it more for backwards for all my car that was the research project. For all the car tracking that I do. Right. And that's what's below it is the radar. That's the Varia radar, and it has a light, and then it also has the radar, which will alert your Garmin that there's cars approaching. And I've written some additional software that takes that radar data and stores it so that you can analyze it later and keep track of how many cars were on a particular road, what was the average speed of all the cars. So that was my research presentation.
So gotcha. Cool. Congrats on that.
Yeah, thanks.
So this one is connected to your Garmin, so it's connected by Bluetooth, and then when there's Correct me if I'm wrong. And then when there's a car,
Mhm.
it detects it and it communicates on your Garmin, and
On the
the
front of the bike.
Garmin,
Yes, that's right.
the Garmin tells you, hey, there's a bike or there's a car.
Mhm.
Is that right?
Mhm. That's right. And it puts a little dot there to show you how many cars. It can track up to 8. So if there's 8
Okay.
cars, it'll put 8 dots on the screen, on the Garmin screen. Yeah, over there on the right. Yeah. Yeah, it's very handy. And of course, I'm interested in the data. Like you said,
Yeah.
geek out over the data. So
You're amazing.
I've done a lot. Hey, actually, if you want to pull up another website, I could show you where all that data is.
Sure. 1 second.
This is another website I created. It's called mybiketraffic.com.
Okay.
Oh yeah, you've pulled it up before. Yeah, and that's all the data from a ride, like where all the cars pass you.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm telling you. You do collect data, which is really, really cool. Yeah, that's Brian. Anyone else? Okay, so a comment from Isabel: truck stops are good for laundry and showers, I would think.
Yeah. I've never done that because I agree 100%. I just usually, it's never worked out that I'm at the
I see.
that it's the right time. But I have that in my pocket. It's like, okay, that, or playbook. It's in my playbook. All right. If it works out, I'm going to stop at that truck stop. It just hasn't worked out so far,
Gotcha.
for taking an actual shower.
Yeah. So you've been riding this year. Is it more to prepare for next year's possibility of Tour Divide? Yep. Or okay, all right.
Yeah,
so
that's pretty much it. I mean, I've got a couple races coming up. I'm gonna do there's a 100-mile mountain bike race.
Yeah.
Not far from here. I mean, of course I'm gonna ride to it.
Yeah, of course. Brian.
And then I feel like I have maybe one more race. Probably end up doing one more race. This might be the first year. I haven't done a road race yet. I've raced on the road every year now for 26 years. So I haven't done one yet. I haven't really planned on one, so I don't know. I might get a little panicky by the end of the year and be like, come on, just do one race.
I'm sure you will. Well, actually, I almost forgot this question. I'm glad Fanny brought it up. Fanny's from Oregon. How is your nutrition? What do you eat? I mean, do you bring them? Is it powder? Do you just, depend on what's in the gasoline or stores that you come?
Yeah.
What's your go-to?
I do start out with a lot of my rides. If psychologically for me, it helps to start middle of the night. And the reason why is because
you're up. You have more energy. No?
Yeah, exactly.
You're more excited.
When the sunlight comes up, it's like free time, like you pay for it the next night if you're still out. Like this past weekend, I paid for it the next night when I was just exhausted and super sleepy. But in general, that means that the first 6, 7, 8 hours of the ride, there's not going to be anything open. So you have to take enough with you to last that long, and that's what I've been doing. Usually just, it's been cold enough that just 2 bottles is enough. I can usually get 6, 7 hours out of that if it's cold enough. As it gets warmer, you just can't do that. So you'd have to stuff a 3rd bottle, maybe even a 4th bottle if it's going to be really warm overnight. You'd have to put that in that bag. But
when the stores are open, so what do you get? What do you
so the stores are open. So there's actually I'm scared to look it up just because it won't be as good as I thought it was for you. But there's a hold on just 1 second. I'll show and tell.
All right, that's fine. Okay.
Right here
all right.
Steps.
So go ahead. We're waiting. So for everyone, if you guys have any question, I hope you guys are enjoying this. She's actually gonna get his favorite go-to. Is that a to-go? You still brought it with you? Which one is this one?
Yeah, this oats, is. I don't know if I can get it to. There it is.
Oats and honey.
It's Sunbelt Bakery.
Okay. Tell me more about it.
Okay, so
why do you like this one?
Optimal calorie to penny item right here. So this thing costs 50 cents. And this one has 180 calories.
Okay.
So, you know, to put it in perspective, a Cliff Bar or something is going to cost at a gas station. If you're stuck with a gas station,
2, 3.
A Cliff Bar at a gas station is going to cost $2 and only has 250 calories. So that's less than
there you go.
ratio. This is a 2-to-1 ratio. No, 3-to-1, over 3-to-1, almost 4-to-1. And that fact, they have 2 other flavors that have 220 and 230 calories for the same price.
Yeah, it looks healthy too.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. That's what I don't want to look up. You know, it's a granola bar, chewy granola bar.
That's so cheap, 50 cents.
Yeah, I know, I know. When I see these at a gas station, I buy like them all. Like literally, I mean, I will buy 2,000 calories at a store at the gas station, and I'll be like, I'm set, I'm done.
Yeah. How about drink?
Yeah,
just
okay.
Water?
Yeah, I was gonna say you still gotta get drink. You know, you still gotta buy drink and everything. Yeah, I usually start out with water.
Water. Okay.
And the primary reason is because I know I'm gonna switch over to Gatorade. That first gas station, I'm gonna be buying Gatorade or Powerade or whatever they have. And then use that just for the electrolytes. That way I don't necessarily have to have like an electrolyte supplement or something that I have to bring with me.
Sure.
But you do have to stay on top of that, because at least I do, because you saw this summer how I was suffering with cramps.
Yeah.
You know, if it's hot enough, you got to stay on top of that Gatorade. Otherwise,
you got to chug it up.
yes, that's exactly right.
Let me see. How many pounds does your bike weigh with all the stuff you have on it? The bike that we showed.
Yeah. So that bike actually only weighs, now with all the stuff, it's like between 30 to 40 pounds pushing it fully loaded. The bike itself, without all the stuff on it, only weighs 22 pounds, and that includes tires, everything. It's actually a really light bike, but by the time you put the time trial bars on it and all those bags and equipment and everything, you're approaching almost 30 pounds, you know, like 26, 27, 28 pounds by that point. But then if you're going on like a bunch of clothes and everything, you know, fully loaded, you're pushing 40 pounds.
So the next question is that, I mean, during your training, considering that it goes like up to 40 mile weight, like let's say you're out for a day only. How do you put on weight? Yeah, short ride. Yeah, exactly. Do you put on weight on your bike so you can actually get to feel, hey, how does it feel going downhill with this much weight? You just train?
No, because I mean, I do enough. Yeah, exactly. I do enough of where I actually need the weight that it's fine. I don't need to simulate it.
Gotcha.
But that is a good point though, because normally I'd be on my road bike a lot more right now, especially these longer things, be on that road bike just to get the distance in quicker, you know, be done a little bit quicker. But because I'm training for a race where I am definitely not going to be on a road bike, I don't want to be on the road bike. I want to have that same feel of the heavier bike, the heavier tires, the rolling resistance. I don't want to get accustomed to something that's lighter and faster.
Yeah. Okay.
But I don't feel like I never do that with the weight though. The weight issue is not as big a deal, because I get enough of that from when I need it.
Okay. I was thinking about that. So, all right. Just last question. Do you have issues with law enforcement for being on a road where they don't want cyclists? Like, or do you just like go out there, go to the highway, or did you ever get stopped?
Well, actually, it's funny. So in Mississippi, I did get pulled over. And the cop knew that, I mean, it was perfectly legal for me to be there. He just wanted to make sure I was okay. And
you're not going trespassing.
It's a very busy road, and and it was. I mean, but I didn't really have choice. I mean, it was a limited route selection at that point, and he was super friendly and everything. He's like, all right, well, I just wanted you to I just want to make sure you were okay and we're gonna get hit.
Is that something you plan out or research, like how highways are when you go through?
Yeah, so with the Topo Creator, when I'm planning out a route, what I'll do is use the Street View guy. The little, I don't know if you.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. That's the little guy.
So as I'm plotting out the route, if I'm not sure about a road, I will, especially the busier roads. I almost don't even care about the really small ones, because the real small backcountry roads, if I'm on my gravel bike, because I can ride whatever. But the busier roads, I want to see, well, how busy is that road? And so that's a trick you can actually do with Street View. So, you know, and it's not going to be 100% accurate, but in my experience, it's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
If you take a section of that road, drag the Street View guy over there. If you see cars on either side, that's a busy road. If there's nothing either way, chances are pretty good that it is not going to be that busy a road.
So this is the little
so this
guy
is where
that
I
he's
live.
talking
You
about.
drag that Street View guy anywhere, there's going to be cars. There's so many cars everywhere. Yeah, look at this. This is a random neighborhood road, and there's still a car there. But yeah, so that's what I'll do, is I'll drag that Street View guy over and check out the road and be like, I'm not doing that. There's too many cars. The shoulder's not wide enough.
Yes.
So I will check that out ahead of times, a lot of times.
Well, I think we've covered a lot, actually. Thank you so much, Brian. That was about an hour of a lot of information. I really appreciate your time, Brian.
I appreciate you inviting me on here. This is awesome. Thank you so much.
And your experience is just so valuable. Seriously. And your brain, I just want to pick it. Can I get your legs too? And your bike.
Yes, you can. Just keep at it. Just keep at it. Yes, you can.
There you go. Hey, everyone. So hopefully you guys enjoyed Brian and all the stories that he has shared to us. If there's any questions, just comment down below. And we really love and enjoy having you, Brian. Again, thank you so much. I think it's 2 or 3 hours. 3 hours?
Just 2. We're
2
in Central.
hours. All right.
So it's 7 o'clock right now.
I'm sure you got to get your dinner, but thank you again, Brian. I'll be in touch, and I'll see you then. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.